Hey there, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith, and I am so excited that it's Friday and you're joining on this Facebook Live. So when are the northerns coming in and when will it stay cold? Unfortunately, Francis, not to give it all away right in the first 5 seconds of this Facebook update or live update, we do have a cold front on the way, but it doesn't look super strong. So it doesn't even look like we're going to get as cold as the last one, but it is going to drop our temperatures and bring us an opportunity at least for some rainfall in the future. So there is a cold front on the way, but we've got a lot of warmer days ahead of us first, unfortunately. So here's a look at those temperatures. You will see the warming trend. So that front is not within the next 7 days. Now, this evening, I believe it's meteorologist Kristen Walla will be in, and she will be discussing this front a little bit more in depth even. As it does show up on the 7-day this evening. So Thursday's the cutoff. Thursday, the front right now is trending between Thursday and Friday. It could trend a little earlier. It could trend a little later. This is still a forecast that's 7 days out, and the accuracy is fairly low 7 days out, and it only increases as we get closer to the front. So right now it is trending to be a warmer front, and by a warmer front, I mean maybe temperatures fall about 10 degrees or so, but we are going to be really warm next week. We're talking 89 degrees for your high on Tuesday and Wednesday, which is going to be rather warm. Notice that orange line across the screen. Essentially what that is going to be your temperature. So the average high right now is 80, which is our high temperature for today. The high temperature today is going to be 80, and we're right there on average for today and tonight, but we're going to creep back up above average as we continue into next week. As our southeast winds continue, we are going to see possibly that front moving in Thursday into Friday. So that's past this, and I'll show you more here in just a second, but I wanted to check out the climate data and see how close we would be to a record there on Monday and Tuesday. So let's do that first. Make sure you're posting your questions and I will get to those. We still haven't talked about the cold front, so if you're just joining, welcome, and we're gonna get there. So today is the 3rd. I want to see what the 7 and 8, 7 go. So our record high is 91 on the 7th, and the record high on the 8th is 93. So there's a chance that we break some records next week, or at least tie some records before the next cold front does arrive. So that's an interesting fun fact there. And now we'll get in front. So what we are looking at over maybe the clicker is far away and need to work. So I'm going to go investigate. There we go. Okay, so Futurecast. Right now we are looking at zonal flow. So what that zonal flow means is that there's not a dip in the jet stream. There's not a ridge and there's not a dip. It's just very boring. Any rain that comes will stay to our north. So you see actually a low pressure system moving across the Great Lakes region. There is another one on the way. That one impacting the Pacific Northwest. It's going to bring some much needed rainfall to that area. They've been in a bit of a summer drought, even though they have seen more rain than us, and they're still greener than us, but they're going to get some rainfall up that direction. Zonal flow will keep much of this rain out of the area as we head into next week. The only thing that may provide us with a few showers is that moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico trying to go up and meet those low pressure systems. That could provide a few spotty showers mostly along our coast. That zonal flow begins to weaken as this trough tries to make its way in. You can see though the front weakens as it approaches Texas, as that zonal flow is still really strong into next week. And this isn't a strong front. It didn't originate far north. It kind of just develops right there in the Pacific Northwest. It doesn't dig south much at all. So it's not pulling in a lot of that deep, cold Arctic type of air. But what it is going to do is provide us with a chance of rain. So it's going to increase our rain opportunities as it slides through. And when we see more cloud coverage and more rain, that's also going to allow our temperatures to drop. So next week, around Thursday or Friday, there is going to be a bit of a shift in the wind. It's not a big shift. I think we're still mostly going to be out of the northeast, more so than the north or northwest. But a northeast wind will be with us at the surface. About a 10-degree temperature drop Thursday to Friday. Highs are looking to be in the 70s next weekend. And then showers are in the forecast Thursday through Sunday. It doesn't look like a ton of beneficial rainfall. Like, we're not talking rainfall totals in inches. We're talking about a half an inch or less at this point. Of course, these are the trends. And so I'll be keeping an eye on this all next week. We'll have meteorologist Faith Colbert back over the weekend. She'll be keeping an eye on these trends for the next cold front as well. So all a team effort as we are looking ahead to our next front, hopefully. But you can see there is another dip in the jet stream looking ahead to next week, so I'll be keeping an eye on that as well. But that's what we're looking at in terms of your long range forecast. Short range forecast, not much hope in the way of colder weather, which we would all love to see. So need more colder weather. I know this cold snap was really nice. A lot of people enjoyed it. It was great. So something else I want to show you, I don't know why this clicker is not wanting to work, but high pressure is why we're heating up. So that high pressure is going to slide right over Texas, Louisiana, and it's going to bump our temperatures up as we head into the weekend and next week as we get southerly flow back in all levels of the atmosphere. But then the front, as you can see, I showed this as the last front was approaching. It's not as strong, so we're not really getting those blues making their way into South Texas. We are getting more yellows, which is mild, about seasonal, if not just below seasonal temperatures expected. So instead of 80, I'm putting us in the 70s. So we will have a cool down, it looks like, next weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend. High pressure tries to build, keeps sending us some slightly drier air, but it looks like we'll still see mostly northeast winds. And so not a lot of hope for a big cool down, but we are looking at cooler conditions into next week. So don't forget about the time change also. So that's coming up. 64 degrees right now. We will warm to highs today nearing 80. The first Friday art walk, we'll see temperatures falling into the 60s. Your sunset is at 6:45 for this art walk. But as we look ahead to December, that sunset's going to be at 5:33. So we'll have some daylight this go around. We won't have much daylight next art walk. So in your 3-day forecast, the clocks fall back. High temperatures are going to be in the 80s. The temperatures will not fall back with the clocks, unfortunately. Again, that time change is 2 a.m. on Sunday. So sunrise is at 7:41 today, and it will be at 6:43 on Sunday, so about an hour difference. And sunset is at 6:44 today. By Sunday, it will be at 5:42. So days are getting shorter in terms of how long we're seeing daylight. The actual day obviously doesn't get shorter, but that's just a note of what time it'll be getting dark around here. Another note is don't forget about wildlife. They're more active at sunset, and that sunset's going to be earlier where it might be impacting your day. If you do want to get out on the water, it looks like great conditions to do so. We still may have some minor coastal flooding at high tide, but high tide is going to be at 11:51 at Bob Hall Pier, so that's pretty late in the evening. Winds are out of the east, just a slight chop expected. We're thinking 2-foot waves today, tomorrow, possibly up to 3-foot waves on Sunday. Periods are looking great, closer to 8 seconds. Moderate to high UV index, fairly low rip current risk, but the longer periods do tend to lean to a little bit of a rip current, but our waves are on the smaller side, which will help. 2-foot waves right now at the buoy, so when we look at that wave forecast, we see them starting to increase Saturday, a better chance for some 3-foot waves on Sunday with onshore winds back in the area. We'll see southeast swells trying to return into next week, and so you could see those waves staying about 2 to 4 feet. Wednesday into Thursday, they get a little higher. That's as the front is approaching. So we may see some of those 4-foot waves, but then you can see the front doesn't look that strong. Winds not shifting too dramatically, especially over the Gulf. So this is your 7-day forecast. If no one else has any questions, we're going to end it here. Don't forget about the time change. Chance of rain, that would be late Thursday, and then into Friday we'll see some showers. Nothing looks too dramatic at this point, but we are looking at temperatures in the upper 80s on Thursday, possibly the mid 70s. So that could wind up being a 10 to 15 degree drop in temperatures. Lows still around 60, so cooler for next weekend, but for now, rather warm weekend is ahead of us. But enjoy it, because we're not going to have rain for this weekend, but we are looking at a chance for rain next weekend. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Don't forget to download our app, and you can download it for free, or just go to KIIITV.com anytime to get the updated forecast.